top useful inventions from around the world that changed the world. I think this is going to be super fascinating. You mean to tell me that the USA didn't invent everything? Of course not. That's a joke. I'm kidding. This comes to us from World TV. Be a link down below. Check them out. Let's go. Paper. Wow. That's actually kind of funny. We all take paper for granted, right? You don't think of like paper being invented, but it was. Wow. China. China again with gunpowder. Yep. And a compass. Wow. Okay. Eyeglasses. 1286. I think I'm going to be more fascinated by like how long ago some things were invented, right? 1286, that's a long time ago. I wonder when contacts were invented, because I wear glasses. I'm wearing, of course, contact lenses right now. Italy, thank you for the glasses. I think billions of people are thankful for that. The flush toilet, 1591. I feel like that's actually pretty early. The UK, all right. Good stuff. Wow, Netherlands, okay. Reflecting telescope, big, okay. Cool. Oh, steam engine, of course. So the UK was really bringing the heat around this time, right? A lot of important stuff happening in the UK, wow. Bifocals, really? What did it say? Discovery is found to be controversial since there were other inventors. Well, I mean, I think this is kind of interesting, right? Because we're going to presumably see quite a few inventions here at the pace I'm seeing it's going. It's hard to narrow some of these down, right? To like one person, you know? And even one country sometimes. So take everything with a grain of salt, right? It's going to be a great video for comments. I can already see it, right? Sewing machine, that's big. UK was just getting to work back then. Wow. And vaccines. Jeez. That's earlier than I thought. I thought vaccines were... I would have guessed like late 1800s, not late 1700s. Wow. It was first used for smallpox, huh? Batteries. 1800 on the dot in Italy. Although it does say 1792 in the little anecdote down there. Thank you, Alessandro. Batteries are very important now. Railroad, yeah. I'd say that one's pretty important. UK again. Wow. Wait, the bicycle was invented after the railroad. Whoa. So you could have a railroad with, you know, transportation involved, big machine, big wheels. Technically, before you could have just a little bicycle. That's actually kind of funny, right? I want to see what the first bicycle looked like. So it comes up with, let's see. Okay, so in the video, it actually doesn't say who did it. Just, it was in Germany, 1818. Now, Google says 1817, so close enough. Known as a swift walker. It was Carl van Dries. Let's see. Is this what it looked like? Jeez, that is bizarre looking. And is that it? Because I'm seeing that or like this equal wheel design. Or is that it? That might be more realistic. This thing looks absolutely crazy. I mean, look, you got to give props, right? Inventing a bicycle is, you know, big deal, right? Very good mode of transportation in a lot of ways. But I have to say, this does not look comfortable. I just got to say it. Boy, I think we've come a long way. Electric motor, 1821. Wow. In the U.S., first big entries from the U.S. here. Refrigerator, too. I think that's a good one. That's one we're very thankful for. Airships. I think they're cool. They had their run, though, didn't they? They had their run. Look at this. Combustion engine was actually in France as well. What? 1858. Wow, what was it used for first? If it was back in the 1850s? Because the car we know didn't come. I'm sure the car's going to be on here. That didn't come till later. Around 1890-ish, right? Dynamite was from Sweden? I also failed to notice until now in editing that Alfred Nobel, of course, of the Nobel Peace Prize, invented dynamite. Pretty funny. What? Wouldn't have guessed that. The telephone, I feel like this one could be controversial, right? 1876, Graham Bell, okay. U.S. Light bulbs, yeah. It could be said that the invention of the television came about the hard work and research of multiple scientists and innovators, therefore credit cannot be given. I'd say that probably happens for a few of these, right? So this one is just up in the air. Where do you guys think television originated from, even if it's multiple countries? I actually don't know. I don't know the history of that. There's the automobile. Of course, Carl Benz. Should be said with the invention of the gas-powered automobile, multiple inventors working independently. Yeah, that's what I remember learning. I've done videos on this. I remember there were different parties involved trying to get like a car made and working. And the Benzes did the first, production-ready automobile, tested it out, ran. Yeah, they just won the race, basically. So fascinating looking at that thing, right? Think of all the cars you see out on the road of various sizes, designs, power outputs. They all started with this. Wow. Germany coming in with really important inventions for movement, right? For transportation. So thank you. Thank you, Germany. I'm someone who enjoys cars very much. Motion picture camera. Where is that from? Oh, well, that's weird. UK and US. Joint effort. Radio, 1896. Italy. Wow. It's a long time ago as well. AC? That's a little earlier than I thought for AC. 1902. It must have not been super common for decades after, though, because I remember, like, for example, a lot of western states or Southwest, or South, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, like, weren't really doing well until, like, the 50s, 60s because of, being extremely hot, and I don't think AC being, like, super efficient and common yet. So this one's, like, invented in 1902, but wasn't at the status it's, like now till way later, I think, right? Also, AC, as it mentions here, I mean, the concept of like air conditioning, like taking a space and making it cooler than the outside, I think is older than this, right? Wasn't there buildings designed like that basically were like air conditioned in different ways, right? That were, not as dreadfully hot as outside. So that's kind of a fuzzy one, but interesting nonetheless. Willis in the U.S. This one's big. This one's huge. The airplane, of course, Wright brothers. This one's still like very celebrated. North Carolina actually presents this on their license plate for the cars. First in flight, right? I think Ohio and North Carolina like to fight about that. But yeah, I'm going to give the U.S. big credit for that one. You got to admit, airplanes, I think a lot of people enjoy the use of these. The convenience of getting to explore the world very quickly with these. Radar, 1904. Wow. A lot of these are super early. Washing machine? Wow, that's earlier than I thought as well. Traffic light, 1912. I mean, what's crazy is the car was only like 20 years-ish before this. But in that 20 years, they started populating, pretty well. So you needed actual, like, okay, we got cars on the road. We need some order. We need some order on the road here. So yeah, think of like inventing a traffic light. Wow, that's another one that it's like, oh yeah, someone had to invent that. Huh. I wonder if it was like always the same. It's been like the same design then the whole time. Red, green, yellow, three lights. I mean, it's pretty much like that in like every country too. It's kind of interesting, right? Someone invented a Band-Aid. Wow, 1921. UK with antibiotics. That's a big one. That's pretty early too. I would have thought those were a little later. Now, again, computers gonna kind of be a fuzzy one, right? But Conrad Seuss, coming in clutch here with the computer. Look at that early computer, by the way. That is like bizarre looking, right? Nuclear reactor. Wow, 1942. Hemodialysis. That's a big one. Anything medical is a big one, right? Netherlands. Is that their first entry on the list? I think it is, right? The microwave. Laser. What? Really? 1958 in the US. Okay. So the internet and computer ones are funny. Well, I guess not the computer, but like the internet. I feel like this one's fuzzy too. And then it comes in levels, right? Like the internet, 1969 in the US. Okay, cool. I feel like I don't know who. I feel like I've heard the internet was invented by somewhere in Europe. So that one's fuzzy. Also, then you have Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi, I'm very much reminded of, in multiple videos I've done, was invented in Australia. So, yeah, this one goes layers deep. Email. Ray Tomlinson, 1971? Can you imagine, like, who had emails back then, though, right? Imagine talking to someone in 1972. Oh, my email is, Tomlinson at Gmail. I know that's not how it worked, but that is pretty funny. Genetic fingerprinting, 1984. Wow. Like, wow, that's pretty early. But then again, before 1984, they didn't have genetic fingerprinting? Like in forensics? That's kind of wild, actually. Jeez. It's very useful, right? See, it's like internet. Okay. Then we have World Wide Web, and this is from the UK, not the US. And this is 1989. Wow. Okay. So that's like the internet as we know it. The World Wide Web, right? The way we use it right now. So thank you, Tim Berners-Lee from the UK. I'd say this was a pretty world-changing thing. For sure. First PC virus? 1986? Oh my God. That's early. Jeez, they didn't let the computers and the internet just chill for a second, huh? Like, wow. January of 86, the first virus written for Windows-based PCs was born. Wow. Known simply as Brain. It was written by two brothers, Basit and Amjad Farouk, who were only 17 and 24. Damn, they were young. Two brothers were like, what prank you want to do today? Let's make a virus. That is weird. Like, imagine making the first virus. Like, how's that come about? In Pakistan. Pakistan's first entry on the list. Jeez. Oh, my God. What? Oh, my God. That's something, wow, I did not see that coming. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the animation. Got me? Like, look at it. Just, my God, man. Well, this will be, wow, I was so thrown off by that. This would be a fun video for comments. We all have invented stuff, right? Lots of different countries. I mean, there was lots of inventions I've learned about in other videos that weren't even here. I have videos about like inventions in Hungary, for example. They invented a lot of important stuff. There were tons of inventions from Germany that I know of that weren't here. So, yeah, if you want to throw in any interesting inventions that weren't featured here, maybe you want to correct if any of these are kind of wrong or missing something, I would love to hear about it. I think it's super fascinating and educational looking back to when things were invented. I think that's super interesting when, right? As well as where. I mean, of course, I think it's super cool. And to all the Americans, sorry, we didn't invent everything, as some might think, right? In our American bubble here. That's going to be it for this one, y'all. Catch you later.